everybody. Hi, it's time. It's time. It's time, the podcast with Dario Ortiz. And what do we got today? Today, we're going to be talking about what is MMA or mixed martial arts in Puerto Rico. How do we work mixed martial arts in Puerto Rico? Or at least how we work in our academy. You know that we have an academy called Caribbean International Combat Zone. And we're specialized on mixed martial arts for years. We've been working mixed martial arts. We also run the federation, or one of the federations of mixed martial arts in Puerto Rico. And we do the most amount of federation tournaments in the island. So we're going to be talking a little bit about mixed martial arts, and if you are interested in this sport, right, and you want to learn this sport, we're here to talk about it and help you make a good decision and pick us, right? Because there's a lot of academies here in Puerto Rico also teaching it. Want to be one of the ones that provide it to you if you like it. This is what we do in Puerto Rico. The way we work this program of mixed martial arts in our academy is this way. What we do is we have a program, right, which is a linear program. It's a system of a linear teaching. What that means is when you go into a program that is linear, means you're going to learn technique 1, technique 2, technique 3, technique 4 in order, right? And you won't learn technique 10 until you learn the technique 5. But that's one of the good things. That means you will learn every technique you need to know all the way up to your black belt. Because that's another thing we do in our system in Puerto Rico. We do belts. They do white belt, blue belt, purple belt, brown belt, and then black belt. So you get belts and you get stripes with each belt, 4 stripes, but you get all the way to black belt using the linear system, and you will learn organize your classes. And why do we talk about this? Why do we explain this linear teaching? We explain it because there's other academies and they don't work in a linear teaching. What they do is they work in what is called a massification system. What that means is they don't go in order. Let's say they have techniques 1 through 100. Today they could be teaching technique number 10. Tomorrow they could be teaching technique number 29. Tomorrow they could teach the technique 100. Today they could be teaching technique 1. And the problem is you never know if you know all the techniques because you never taken them in order. So you will never know everything you need to know in order to fight when you get into the cage, because you never know if you still have or not have that technique. And don't take me wrong, I'm not saying one system is better than the other or one system is inferior than the other. Each system is good. It just depends on which one you want to pick, right? In our system is a linear system, and you know you're going to learn everything in order. And the other system you just don't know, but you will be learning a lot of random techniques, and some of them are very advanced, some are very simple and basic, but it's not in order. So in our system, what we do is we teach in a linear system of teaching, but we have something else. We do what is called massification in periods. Periods? Yeah, I think that's the way we say it in English. And what we do is when it's a point of a combat, right? The person is training with us. He just started with us, 3 months training. They say next month is a tournament and you're going to fight. What we do is we stop the teaching of the linear system teaching on that point, right? Because he's in a month, he's ready to go into combat. And we start what is called massification, but just for that period of that month. But this massification is different. What we do is we give him in that massification everything he will need to complete a reasonable fight in the cage. So for example, if in his linear teaching, he hasn't take jiu-jitsu techniques, he hasn't take judo techniques, he hasn't take wrestling techniques. So we will give him the amount of techniques he will need of each one of those styles in order to get him ready for that combat. Remember, he's going to be doing a federation combat. It's not a professional combat. It's not a very high skill combat. It's a novice, right, combat. But he needs to have at least the basic of these techniques in order to compete at that level. So that's the way we work it. We make a linear teaching so that they could rank their belts, so that they could achieve their belts. And then we do massification when they're going to compete. And that way we have like the best of both worlds when it comes to preparing our athletes. So that's the way we work our teaching. Now, okay, perfect, Sensei. That's the way you teach us. But what is it you're going to teach us, right? That's the next question. So this is what we do. We got like about 9 disciplines that we work in our system. And they are about karate. That's one of the systems they learn. The other one is judo. They get kickboxing. They get Muay Thai. They get boxing. They get wrestling. They get jiu-jitsu. And they get wrestling. They get all these different disciplines that they will need in order to fight in the cage. But let's make this clear. It's not like they're gonna learn all of those techniques and be able to be a black belt on each one of them. They're gonna know and learn everything they need of each one of those disciplines that are necessary in order to win in the cage. Because each one of these disciplines have a lot of things that are not applicable on mixed martial arts. The same way it doesn't work backwards, right? I can't go to judo and start kicking and punching my opponent because judo does not kick and punch. I can't go to boxing and start picking the person up and slamming him down with wrestling throws because it's not allowed on boxing. The same way you can't go to the cage and pretend to use some of the techniques of these styles that will put you in positions and that you will get seriously hurt, right? Like, for example, if I teach you to do a double leg the way you do it on wrestling, specifically the way you do it on wrestling, you will get knee to the face and that will be bad and you will get knocked out. But in wrestling, they can't knee you in the face. So this is the thing, right? When we teach the system, what we do is we give you the exact techniques you need in order to win a combat of mixed martial arts. So that's the disciplines we teach you. Those are the martial arts you're going to be learning. So, and how are you going to be learning them? So you're going to get a class where you're going to get exercises, you're going to get techniques, and then you're going to get prepared in periods of 3 to 4 months in order to get into the cage and start your combats, to start your journey into becoming a professional fighter. Perfect. I like it. That's what I want to do. I want to learn mixed martial arts and I want to learn it that way. Well, not there yet. It's one more thing. Now we got to know what you want to learn mixed martial arts for. That's very important. It's very important because our system is focused on preparing athletes for competition. So if you're going to prepare yourself for competition, this is the system and this is the way we do it. But if you just want to learn it for self-defense, then you could just take the first blue belt and you're done. Once you got that blue belt, you can move into karate, you can move into another system, and you're done from there on, because all you need to learn for defending yourself on the street is in the blue belt curriculum. Everything is in there. I mean, anything you would need to defend yourself is in that belt. And you will learn mixed martial arts, but just focus on self-defense and it will work for you greatly. Now, if you want to move to professional fighter or amateur fighter, then is where you will want to keep going, right? And keep growing on the sport by going to the rest of the belts that we have to offer you so that you could achieve the knowledge necessary to be able to fight as a professional fighter. Question, Sensei. So you're saying that when I become a black belt, I can fight professional level? Nope. I have students in blue belts. They are moving to professional. They could do that because we'll teach you in the massification realm the techniques you need to accomplish in order to be able to move to professional level. But why would you want to grow on belts then? Well, if you want to grow on belt, it's because mixed martial arts has a little problem, and is if you don't get a belt, when you become a champion or you stop the sport and you decide, you know what, I'm already done with the sport. I did everything I wanted to do. I proved what I wanted to prove. I achieved what I wanted to achieve. Now I want to go to a different area of the sport. I want to start teaching. I want to have my academy. We want to make sure we can provide you with the knowledge and with the certifications that you could be able to teach as a black belt in any environment. So you can have your school. So that's why we will encourage you to keep going on the linear program to get that black belt so that you can start your school, right? Or your academy. So that's the way we work our program of mixed martial arts here in Puerto Rico. If you're interested in participating in one of our programs and you want to get into the mixed martial art world, these are the things. You got to be over 14 years old and adults any age. But remember, any age if you want to do the black belt and all this other stuff. Because if you just wanted to compete, only to 32 years old, this is the most you could just come in. Because remember, you can't start at 32 and pretend you could probably be able to compete at the level that you're going to be needing to compete if you don't have the skills before. Like if you're going to start learning martial arts at 34 or 32, you're going to learn. I can teach you. You could become a black belt, but going into the cage and maybe do some amateur fights, it'll be done. But moving all the way to professional is going to be really, really hard way to go because you don't have the years to do the sport. But if you're really young and you start young, this sport is for you. So if you really want to move into the sport, we start at 14 and you could go all the way up until the age you are right now, and you could just come in as long as you don't exceed the 32 so that we don't make a short career. Now if you only want to do some amateur fights, yeah, you could do it at any age. We have also elderly, more older people that do mixed martial art with us, and they're great, but it's only certain levels of fight that they could achieve to do. So that's one thing. The other thing is you will have to contact us at 787-727-6026. 787-727-6026. We're located at San Juan and at Caguas. In San Juan, we're located at close to Condado in Isla Verde. We're really close. We're behind the University of Sagrado Corazon. Really close. If you type in Google ciczone.com San Juan, it'll show you our location and with a ping, and it'll bring you exactly where our location is at. We're open Monday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays from 6 to 9. Saturdays from 11 to 11:30. So if you want to come to San Juan, you just could contact us and we could give you more information. They will take care of you and they'll give you more information, the costs of the subscriptions, and then all the registrations and all the details you need to know. If you go to Caguas will be Tuesdays and Thursdays and Saturdays, and Caguas starts at 5, ends up at 8. If you want to go to Caguas Academy, and you could just type in Google the same thing, CIC Zone, but instead of putting San Juan, you just put Caguas, and it'll show you the location. We're really close to Hacienda San Jose in Caguas, really close. Valle Tolima, the street of Valle Tolima. You can find us really fast right there. So if you want to go to Caguas, you could do so. One of the good things we have in our academy is that you could go to both centers. Once you register on one center, you could go to either of our centers, San Juan or Caguas. So if you miss a class in Caguas, you could just pick it up on San Juan, and you could just do vice versa. So basically that's it. If you want to get into the mixed martial art worlds, you want to fight UFC, you want to fight all these events of mixed martial arts, just contact us. 787-727-6026, and hope to see you here in the dojo. So you know what? It's time. You know what it's time for? It's time for the podcast. See you next week, man. Take care, guys.